The golden age of television comedy. Hidden techniques behind the laughter. Classic television comedy from the 1970s and 1980s achieved unprecedented global success, with programs broadcasting across nearly 100 countries and attracting millions of weekly viewers. Beyond the obvious humor, these shows employed sophisticated technical craftsmanship that most audiences never consciously recognized. Spatial illusions and visual loops. Directors created impossible scenarios by manipulating spatial relationships on screen. Performers would exit one side of the frame and immediately reappear from the opposite side, creating cartoonish physics borrowed from early cinema and animation. This wraparound effect suggested a looped universe, where screen edges functioned as connected portals. The technique's power lay in repetition. When viewers saw this effect repeatedly, 10 to 15 times per episode, they stopped questioning and accepted it as the show's internal logic. This conditioning allowed seamless chase sequences where audiences completely suspended disbelief. Directors subtly integrated the effect into everyday sketches, with characters exiting one door and emerging from an entirely different location, defying spatial continuity. Frame rate manipulation for comic effect. The frenetic energy of classic chase scenes resulted from filming at reduced frame rates, 18 to 21 frames per second instead of 24, then playing footage back at normal speed. This undercranking technique created accelerated, jerky motion that appeared inherently comedic. Originating in hand-crank silent film cameras, this aesthetic became synonymous with early slapstick. Television directors deliberately recreated this style, knowing audiences psychologically associated it with humor. Some directors varied speeds within single shots, filming certain performers at reduced rates while capturing others normally, creating contrasting rhythms that viewers sensed but couldn't articulate. Unknown performers who became stars. Classic variety shows employed large casts of dancers and extras who later achieved fame. At the time, these performers were unknowns taking any available work. One regular dancer from the early 1980s later became internationally famous through American sitcom success, though during her original appearances, she was merely one among many background performers. These shows functioned as training grounds where hundreds of struggling actors cycled through as extras. Only in retrospect, when viewers rediscover these programs, do familiar faces become apparent, creating a treasure hunt experience. Genuine mistakes left unedited. Despite professional production values, many shows retained authentic errors. Crew reflections in mirrors, microphone shadows, malfunctioning props, and background performers breaking character. These weren't staged bloopers, but genuine mistakes resulting from single-take filming approaches. With complex scenes involving dozens of performers, achieving flawless takes proved nearly impossible. Editors reasoned that audiences focused on foreground action would miss minor background imperfections, making expensive reshoots unnecessary. Background performers sometimes stared at cameras, stopped moving prematurely, or reacted to off-camera events. Some accidents enhanced comedy. When costume pieces came loose during physical gags, the unexpected malfunction often generated additional laughter. Skilled performers incorporated accidents into their acts, treating unforeseen circumstances as improvisational opportunities. Environmental comedy in set design. Production designers embedded additional humor into backgrounds, particularly wall writings featuring question and answer exchanges. These microstories remained invisible to most viewers focused on main action, but added comedic density. Examples included riddles with visual punchlines and conversational exchanges between anonymous graffiti writers. During fast-paced chases, these wall texts flashed by too quickly for conscious reading, yet contributed to the atmosphere of pervasive humor. This technique transformed static backgrounds into narrative devices, borrowing from silent film title cards. Later home video releases revealed the extensive detail most original viewers never noticed. Hidden complexity in chase music. The iconic music accompanying chase scenes contained hidden layers beneath its simple melody. Composers incorporated samples from multiple traditional tunes, American folk songs, and circus marches, woven so seamlessly that listeners recognized familiar elements without identifying specific sources. This subconscious melody recognition created emotional resonance audiences couldn't explain. The music felt energizing and familiar for reasons listeners didn't understand. Carnival-like musical elements enhanced chaotic visual comedy, creating unified sensory experiences. Transforming sign humor. Clever prop designs allowed signs to change meaning through strategic concealment. Initially advertising one thing, signs revealed entirely different text when partially obscured by opening doors or moving performers. These visual puns required precise timing and exact positioning. Audiences couldn't anticipate transformations. They absorbed initial meanings, then experienced surprise when hidden portions revealed themselves. Creating these effects demanded meticulous planning. Each sentence needed grammatical correctness while ensuring proper vertical letter alignment. Character definition through detail. Recurring characters maintained distinctive traits demonstrating attention to subtle detail. One military-themed character consistently performed incorrect salutes with palms facing outward rather than inward, as British protocol required. This reversed salute appeared across 15 years of appearances, defining the character as well-intentioned but perpetually confused. The character's entire presentation was intentionally wrong. Missing insignia, unpolished boots, civilian-colored uniform, sideways hat. Yet everything was worn with complete confidence, creating humor through contrast between appearance and self-assurance. Consistent response patterns. Another character delivered identical lines in his distinctive accent whenever his bald head was tapped, whether bare or helmeted. This exact phrase appeared across multiple episodes in various contexts, creating an inside joke suggesting all the characters' roles might represent a single confused individual. Mechanical prop efficiency. A frequently repeated scenario involved characters accidentally entering wrong rooms, discovering couples in bed, then checking room numbers upon embarrassed exits. Specialized rotating number plates could spin to display different digits, enabling this gag's reuse across hotels, apartments, and office buildings without dialogue. Beverage substitution for safety. Characters portraying intoxication consumed fruit juice from bottles labeled as alcohol. Close examination revealed contents too light and clear for whiskey, sometimes containing visible pulp. Production necessities drove this choice. Multiple takes made actual alcohol unsafe, while tea stained teeth and changed color under studio lights. Performers' commitment to drunken characterization was so convincing that audiences never questioned beverages. Their stumbling and slurring created performances where viewers' minds automatically filled gaps. Layered humor in delivery. Some jokes operated on multiple levels. In one space sketch, a character wearing a fishbowl helmet was asked about breathability. The response, that goldfish survived approximately 3 weeks in the helmet, appeared innocuous until audiences recognized survived implied the fish had died, suggesting bizarre safety testing delivered so cheerfully that most missed the morbid undertones. Split-screen technical achievement. Performers appeared as multiple versions of themselves within single scenes through split-screen photography. Creating this illusion required filming one character while leaving space for the second, then combining footage through optical printing. Convincing performances required dramatically different voices, postures, and expressions, while strategic furniture placement prevented audiences from questioning shared space. Visual metaphor sequences. Rather than depicting romantic situations explicitly, shows employed rapid visual metaphors. Spinning washing machines, launching rockets, exploding fireworks, trains entering tunnels, pumping pistons, popping champagne corks. These symbolic sequences replaced unsuitable content. While Hollywood had used similar techniques, these shows accelerated and exaggerated the approach. Careful sequence construction created emotional and comedic rhythms that registered even when specific images weren't consciously remembered. Chase scene misconceptions. Popular perception remembered certain performers as pursuing women, but scene analysis revealed the opposite. Comedians typically fled from people angered by accidental offenses, irate spouses, upset chefs, angry nurses, elderly women with umbrellas. Promotional materials emphasized controversial imagery, creating false impressions. Complete episodes revealed performers as well-meaning everymen whose clumsiness inadvertently caused chaos, with crowds pursuing them, completely inverting perceived dynamics. Hidden dual roles. Some performers maintained multiple roles without audiences realizing connections. Distinguished straight men who conducted interviews also provided opening announcements, using completely different vocal qualities, measured in sketches, enthusiastic as announcers. Shows never explicitly revealed these connections, with performers opening episodes vocally, then appearing moments later on screen as different characters. These sophisticated techniques made classic television comedy enduringly effective. Shows combined traditional slapstick with innovative filming methods, creating densely layered comedy, rewarding both casual viewing and careful analysis. The technical mastery, attention to detail, and character consistency established standards influencing comedy production for generations.